The United Nations, it's released a much-anticipated report on China's treatment of the Uighur and other Muslim minorities in northwestern Xinjiang region. This report was released despite China's opposition accuses Beijing of serious human rights violations. Now, the report assessed claims abuse against Uighur Muslims and other ethnic minorities here. Investigators said that they uncovered credible evidence of torture which might possibly amount to crimes against humanity. The report also accused China of using vague national security laws to clamp down on the rights of minorities. Other allegations include forced medical treatment, adverse conditions of detention, sexual and gender-based violence. This report urged Beijing, the United Nations, the world at large to focus its gaze on the situation that it has described in Xinjiang. However, this 49-page report made no reference to genocide. This has been one of the key allegations made by the United States, other Western countries as well. The report has been in the making for close to a year and was released just 13 minutes before Michelle Bachelet's four-year term as UN High Commissioner for Human Rights expired. Campaigners have been accusing China for abuse for several years. However, Beijing has firmly denied these allegations. China's ambassador to the UN in New York said that Beijing is firmly opposed to the UN assessment. He said that Bachelet should not have caved in to political pressure from the West, adding that this report interfered with China's internal affairs. The United Nations released this much-anticipated report on China's treatment of Uighur and other Muslim minorities in northwestern Xinjiang region. This report, it was released despite China's opposition, and it accuses Beijing of serious human rights violations. The report assessed claims of abuse against Uighur Muslims, other ethnic minorities in the region. As per the investigators, they've uncovered credible evidence of torture, which might possibly amount to crimes against humanity. This report has also accused China of using vague national security laws to clamp down on the rights of minorities. Now, for more on this, we're being joined by Abdul Ali Ayub from Bergen, Norway, who is a Uighur activist. Thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. Now, as I mentioned, this report has been in the making for close to a year that says that evidence points to possible crimes against humanity committed against the Uighur minority in the region. What is your assessment? There was no reference to genocide, which has been the main allegation here.
Yes, it said that it may conclude crime against humanity, but the report mentioned the fact, evidence about conclude genocide. For example, it mentioned that a demographic change and decrease of population and family separation and the historical sites demolition, all of the facts conclude to be genocide. It is mentioned those facts on the report, but the conclusion did avoid mention genocide.
So what do you make of that?
It means that they minimize the violation and they minimize atrocity happening there. Like we need to take real action, and we need to take strict action against what's happening there. Like it means that it's a crime against humanity, and it's minimize the reality, and it's not really clear to express what's really happening there.
Right, absolutely. Now, you have first-hand experience. Do you think this much-awaited report will amount to any significant action or reforms? China, as you know, has of course firmly denied these allegations, has opposed this report completely.
Yes, I never expect Chinese government will accept the reality, and they keep denying the reality for 6 years. And but I never expect Chinese government to change their policy. But I expect the international community and civil rights organization and human rights organization, they change their perspective, and then they change their action.
Right, absolutely. But how do you see this translating into actual reforms and what is actually happening in Xinjiang?
Like the report documented really well what happened and what's happening, like this family separation and the demographic change and labor transfer and boarding schools, all and linguistics rights and the religious rights, all of the human rights violation and all of the the facts about genocide it mentioned. And I don't think it will change, because the Chinese government is one of the member of Security Council, and it has veto rights. And what we have seen didn't change anything, but it will change the international community's attitude, because people are talking about it's about the trade war between China and the U.S.
Right.
And they deny the reality, but it will tell us what's really happening there.
Right, absolutely. Mr. Abdul Ali, I thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast with your analysis.
Thank you for having me.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.